So thanks everyone for joining today. There's probably multiple people that will continue joining in to the conference today, but I think we're going to have a pretty awesome discussion today. So there's a bunch of folks that will be monitoring the chat window. So if you have any question, feel free to or unmute yourself and ask the question, or just ask them in the chat window. People will be more than happy to answer all your questions, because today will be a very interesting and important topic for us at Valo. So the topic of the day will be all about modern Valo. What is modern Valo? What does it mean? Where we're heading with that, where we are today, and where we're going with that new offering at Valo. So I think it's going to be a pretty interesting one. First, for the ones that don't know me, my name is Sebastian, Seb. I am a partner manager and product evangelist here in the brand new office of Valo Solutions based in Montreal. Now I have plenty of new friends from Finland that are now in with me in Montreal. So Juha moved in. Tina also is already arrived in Montreal. So now we have a proper team. There's also Vlad that is here with me. So I will be the one hosting this webinar today, because I am also the one who is the owner of the Modern Valo Experiences. As a quick reminder, the schedule is out for our next Valo Partner Summit. So if you can join us May 3rd and May 4th in Lisbon, Portugal, or if you'd like to have the Las Vegas experience, we're going to also be hosting the North American Valo Partner Summit on the May 24th. Schedule is out. You can go on the valosummit.com. It's going to be a great event where we will talk about parts of what we're talking today, but in a much more advanced way, but also all topics around sales, marketing, techie stuff also over there. And please submit your team or your organization for our partner awards. That will happen in Lisbon May 3rd and May 4th. I think the award is on the May 3rd in the evening. So feel free to put in your submission right now. So today I really want to discuss, it will be more of a discussion. We don't have more than mockups to share today, so I will not show you running code, though we have running code. But I really want to put put the table to understand where we're going and what is our mindset for the modern versions of Valo. So first of all, what will be the goals? What will be the vision, the mission, the objectives of modern Valo in that modern SharePoint world? So as consultants, as integrators, I know that you've been working closely with SharePoint for a long time now, and that now you're probably already shifting yourself to the modern experiences in SharePoint Online. And this is something we do also. So we live the same things that you guys are living. The thing is, we want to make sure that Valo is not only a classic offering, but also a full modern offering for everyone that wants to go to the cloud. And this is exactly why we really think that we need to set those vision, mission, and objectives straight before we go into any features and any mockups we want to show. So first of all, what is the mission around the modern version of Valo? So first of all, it's not to compete against modern SharePoint. In fact, it's to embrace modern SharePoint all the way. So that means that any type of solutions you would build on SharePoint Classic today using Valo, we want the exact same experience in modern SharePoint. That means that you will have the same set of tools. We will embrace all the new innovations from Microsoft, all the new web parts and everything. So the mission is really about delivering a complementary experience to the modern SharePoint by providing value and features that deliver a complete digital workplace. Today, we don't feel that modern SharePoint is a digital workplace or is even an enterprise-ready version of an intranet. It requires a lot of customization. And this is exactly the part that we want to take on. We want to make sure that we add those customization to your project so you don't have to worry about them. And then you can deliver very, very, very quickly a nice intranet or a digital workplace using modern SharePoint, using also modern Valo on top of that as a layer. And what is our vision? So first, we know that Microsoft is lacking features in the modern world. So we want to complement SharePoint. We want to complete the SharePoint offering where we feel that or the feature is lacking or it's too limited to be used as an enterprise scenario. We really feel that the enterprise scenarios will be the key to have a successful modern SharePoint deployment. Then something we decided is that we want to be fully integrated inside SharePoint and not outside of SharePoint for actually two different reasons. First is to leverage any type of SharePoint innovation directly in our products. So we're talking about all the new site designs. We're talking about all the new web parts that are available. We're talking about Power BI integration. We're talking about a lot of the features that SharePoint built that make this modern SharePoint experience so cool. But also, we know who you guys are. We know that you are SharePoint experts. So we really want to drive you to SharePoint and not to another platform to learn. Something that I think was one of the success of Valo in the classic mode is the fact that as soon as you know SharePoint, you actually knew a lot about Valo. Well, in that case, we want that to be the exact same thing for modern SharePoint. So as soon as you know how to customize modern SharePoint, well, you will know how to customize modern Valo. If you want to extend modern Valo or modern SharePoint, it's going to be the exact same type of extension points that that you're going to be able to leverage using modern Valo. So we want to make sure that we are inside SharePoint, leveraging everything SharePoint is doing. Because right now the train is going fast. It's lightning fast how innovation is happening in Office 365 and SharePoint Online, and we want to make sure that we're there with you to really, really, really guide you through that modern world. Third point, we want to build our solution so not only it adds features for the customers, but that it's fully extendable for partners and advanced customers. So we want to make sure that the way it is right now in Valo Classic, where you can add your own information architecture, where you can add your own components, where you can add your own pages, you can add your own web parts, you can even extend parts of our Genesis provisioning engine. Well, we want the same type of extensions to happen directly in modern Valo. We're going to even provide, and I'm going to come back to that later on, we're going to provide even new components to help you deliver more in a more quick way to your customers. So we're gonna add some components in there that's gonna make your life a lot more easier to build a new web part or to build a new experience directly in your browser. So that's gonna be pretty cool. And we also want to start, and that's actually what we were doing in the past, but start looking outside of SharePoint. By being the hub of all Office 365 activities. With Teamwork, I think we're doing a very, very great job at enabling more Office 365 usage for your customers by showcasing Planner and showcasing Microsoft Teams and Office 365 groups and all of those different workloads. Well, we want to do the exact same thing with Valo Modern in a way where we want to concentrate all the activities in the modern Valo experiences, but by providing a lot of value on top of that. So integration with Microsoft Teams, integration with Microsoft Stream and Office 365 videos, maybe integrating with the nice end user options are in there, maybe Microsoft To Do, maybe Microsoft Forms, Planner, Power BI. We want to make sure that this is all something that has its place inside the modern Valo experiences. So that's our vision. we really want to make sure that we complement SharePoint and we leverage SharePoint, we benefit from SharePoint, but we also add a ton of value on top of it. Our objectives here is to deliver a ready-made intranet using modern SharePoint. The same way we're doing this in classic Valo, we want to do that in the same thing with modern Valo. So the same kind of one-click deploy or using Genesis to deploy the entire intranet, you will have the exact same experience with modern Valo. Deliver a compelling intranet for customers. One of the things that we get asked the most at Valo is, how do you make your intranet look so good? How do you build your stuff so it's easy to use and it's very user-centric, very user experience driven? Well, we want to do the exact same thing for modern Valo. So you will have some branding functionalities that will be added on top of modern SharePoint to really make your pages look stunning. So one of our objectives is really to deliver a solution that is highly customizable for you partners, and that you can save time. So for us, our mission, our vision, our objective for that is really to make sure that you save time using Valo, but still generate interesting revenues for all your different projects that you're deploying to your customers. Our real objective is to become the de facto solution for enhancing the modern SharePoint experience. So we want to make sure that everyone, when they think about a modern SharePoint and all of its limitations, we want people to think about Valo. And that's really where how we will invest our money in the development of that tool. It's really to make sure that we are not only a great tool, but the best tool for the job. So what's inside Valo? There's a ton of stuff that will be inside Valo, but there's some stuff that we are already working on. There's also some stuff that are top of minds, meaning that we are thinking about it, see how we can actually make it work, how our customers will like it, how our partners will like it. So feel free, if you have an idea of a killer feature that you would like to see in modern Valo, please feel free to send that in the chat right now. Send that by email, seb@valointranet, or even at the hello at valointranet.com. Make sure that your voice is being heard, because we really want to hear from the field feedback to make sure that Valo really responds to your needs as a partner, but to your customer needs also. So, what is modern Valo? Well, Valo will use the same features than classic Valo, but in a modern world. So we're going to use all the modern UI, so modern team sites and communication sites as our surface to express ourselves in terms of intranet. We will leverage site scripts and site design. So in terms of technicality, here we will really use the latest provisioning tools that Microsoft is providing. So you will even be able to create new content using the out-of-the-box UI from SharePoint, but still create a Valo-flavored version of a communication site, for instance. We will also embrace that flat information architecture. So we will really use, as much as we can, no subsites to really respect the way that Microsoft is pushing in terms of site collection management, to make sure that we are really on the edge and where it's easy for everyone to scale at the intranet level and not have any performance issue whatsoever. So full flat information architecture. The cool thing that's going to happen with Valo Modern is the fact that modern Valo will be able to sit on top of any existing modern SharePoint deployment. So it means that if you already have a modern communication site that you're using with your customers, well, when modern Valo will be ready, you will be able to add modern Valo to an existing communication site, which is not the case today with our classic offering, the way it is structured. So we will really, really leverage the existing advancements of your customers. So that means that in terms of technical details, you can start right now building a portal for the future, and you will be able to install and attach Valo to it later on. Our goal is to offer our first MVP, so our first minimum viable product for the end of second quarter this year. So we are expecting a shipment date for end of June. We will probably have versions to play with earlier. So we are expecting our dev team to have something solid for our partner summit. So we're talking about Lisbon and Las Vegas. So you will be able to start playing with Modern Valo in those timeframes. We will also showcase Modern Valo probably at the SharePoint conference in Las Vegas. So totally in line with what Microsoft is doing. And we will start promoting Modern Valo pretty much also at the same time frame. We will, though, align with the classic roadmap. That means that what we ship in Modern Valo will probably come back to the classic Valo. And what we ship in classic Valo will probably have an appearance in Modern Valo. So just so we're clear here, Modern Valo is not a replacement of Modern Valo, of classic Valo, sorry. Modern Valo is just another option depending on your customer needs. So we will continue investing in Classic Valo. Juha will have a webinar next week on the roadmap for Classic Valo. But keep in mind that your customers that have Classic Valo today, they still continue to work with Classic Valo without any problems. And we will also a bit later today present you what is our approach to go from classic to modern for your customers. So something very, very important. I really want to make sure that this is very well understood. Modern Valo will not be a one-to-one replacement, but more of another solution, another experience for your customers. So you will be able to build actually two different portals and make them interact with each other, one in classic and one in modern. You might want to ask, why are we talking about a flat architecture? Well, we're talking about a flat logical architecture. So we will leverage parts of the hub sites philosophy. We will probably also use the hub sites as a technology to help us bringing content together in a more structured way. But we will really embrace that communication site flat structure where you will have a logical or virtual navigation that will be able to send you all around your intranet. So for us, this is really where the biggest change in the information architecture will happen. We'll start from a subsite-driven architecture to a pages-driven architecture around multiple communication sites. Why we're doing that is to give the ability to your customers to spread the load. So you can say that marketing and communications have subject matter experts that are owners of that data. In the old model, it was possible, but it was kind of a nightmare in terms of security. So here, we're really leveraging what is the best of breed of security management, of ownership of the content, and we also want to make sure that it is easy to publish something. So we will really guide the user in where to create the content based on some of the aspects that this user wants to create. So let's say he wants to create a marketing and communication news. Well, we're going to automatically redirect that user to that, to the marketing and communication site. That also means that each community or each department or each section of the intranet will also be able to benefit from some kind of a smaller version of the intranet. So they will be able to have their own news. They will be able to have their own events, and we will roll all of that information up to make sure that people can create content wherever it is, and we'll create a homepage where you can find all your best content. So we'll distribute the content edition to make sure that we have a nice experience for everyone. what are the features that we are planning for the Valo 4 or the modern Valo 4 is kind of a code name or internal versioning numbers. But what would be the feature for modern Valo launch? So you will see here that we will really talk about features that we already talked about. Actually, we want to come with as soon as possible to a feature parity between classic Valo and modern Valo. So we're talking about the Candela 2.0 inspired branding. So we'll really bring that nice UI directly inside modern Valo. At the same time, we're building the one for classic, so the experience will be very, very seamless. We're going to talk about a global navigation, not a navigation that can only span across one site collection, but really across all the site collections of your environment, including all your intranet connected site collection, but also your modern theme sites if you want to. So you will have a feel of location everywhere you are. So that's going to be very cool. We're going to also introduce something we called, and I'm not 100% of the name, but a global metadata model. We want to make sure that we can tag and categorize the content for two different reasons. First, for findability. We want to make sure that the content is easily searchable for everyone in the organization. So we want to automate a lot of that auto-tagging, classification, and everything. Also, for a global metadata model, we will introduce subscriptions. So you will be able to subscribe to specific topics that you're interested in, and that will shape the way your homepage looks. So that way, it means that your homepage, not only it's going to be targeted to you, but you will be able to pull in some data that people did not necessarily know that you would care about, but that is something that is interesting for you. So you will be able to have a subscription model on that. We had a question about the mega menu. Yes, the global nav will be a mega menu. It will be not only a nice mega menu, but a mega menu that will span across all your site collections. That will be fully security trimmed. So that's something that new that we're introducing here. Is going to be fully security trimmed. So if you don't have access to a page, you will not see the page inside the mega menu or inside the navigation. So that's going to be cool. Then pages, news, and events management. This is something we already had using classic pages, so publishing pages, web part pages, that kind of stuff. So for our pages management, we're going to introduce templating. We're going to introduce the fact that you can create pages based on models. So you want to create a department page. You want to create a showcase page. You want to create a product page. You want to create different types of pages. Well, this is all going to happen. News management, same thing. So we're going to be able also to template those. You want to create a press release. You want to create a birthday celebration. You want to highlight an event. Well, everything will be able, and you'll also be able to provide your own templates in there. Events management, same thing. Keep in mind, all those three different aspects will also come with a global metadata model. So you will be able to assign a language, a location, a business area, a ton of different information on those pages. So it's going to be easier for everyone to subscribe and to search afterwards. So we had a question, does Valo Modern support cross-site news and content over site collection? Absolutely. So everything will be across different site collections because we're going to use the communication site. So you will be able to have a news in the HR site because it's going to be an HR news. Then it's going to show up on your homepage, even though it's not in the site collection. Same thing for pages, same thing for events. So we're going to roll up all the things. So everything we're going to build will be all based out of search to enhance the experience. Sites management, same thing. Now that you don't create a subsite, we'll want to create this sites management experience. So you will be able to create a new site, and a site could be a department site, a section site, a location site, a product site, where in there you will be able to find all the different pages, all the different subsections in there. So that's going to help a lot. Here, it's going to simplify a lot the use case of what we're doing here. It's going to simplify a lot the content edition for the users. Multilingual management. So this is something that we want to launch with the birth of Modern Valo, which will be a fully working connected multilingual experience. So we're talking about multiple structures, multiple intranets living side by side, all in their own kind of silos, but it will also make it easy for you to connect data together to be able to switch from one language to the other. You want to make sure that this brings a ton of value to your customers, especially your large customers. So this is really something that is coming in the next versions of modern Valo. We want to make sure that multilingual is one of our I would say biggest feature in there. We're also bringing back the alerts management, a full search experience. So for our search experience, that will take into consideration your global metadata model. So if you publish a couple of columns or a couple of classifications element, we'll be able to leverage those directly in the search. Same thing for my tools. So my tools will be fully integrated in there the same way it is currently in the new version of the mega menu. So it's going to be part of the navigation and not part as a kind of an icon somewhere in the UI. Bringing back the people finder. You all love Genesis. We all love Genesis, or we're bringing a modern version of Genesis that will take advantage of our Genesis structure, but a lot more of PNP templates over there. So that will lead to simplified for you. So we'll need to learn one technology to build your site. So we're coming with that very, very, very PNP modern standard Genesis in there. I want to answer the Roger question that we have in the chat. So will Classic and Modern be able to work together? Example, Modern Portal and the users are still using groups in Classic. Yes, so I'll come back to that later on, how we will support that in terms of technology. Anything related to licensing, we're still figuring this out, but in terms of technology, both will work together, and this will be part of our path to make them work together. So I'll come back to that in a couple of minutes. Bringing in Office 365 Video and Delveblog, so those were two nice add-ons that we had, so we're going to have them also directly in there. One that I want to highlight very quickly, it's something new that we're introducing, which is called a search-driven templating component. Or I don't think we have we're set on the name right now. We're going to create, let's call it the Valo web part or something like that. We want to help you build experiences on top of us. We want to leverage, I don't know, the categorization, the subscriptions, the language functionalities, but we don't want you to have to really build those integrations. We will build a full templating engine that will connect to your data in Office 365 and be able to leverage it by showing it in the way you want it to be. So we're bringing templating technologies in there, so you can easily template anything you want to do. So you will be able to have a news template, an event template. You want to create a help desk system on top of Valo, well, you'll be able to build your own help desk templates in there. So that's really where we are heading in terms of partner customization and partner extensibility. So we want to give you as much power as we can to deliver compelling experiences to your customers. And finally, the admin tool pack. So the admin tool pack will come back as a analytics tool. So you will be able to have also the admin tool pack for the Valo 4 launch. Then what are top of mind for Valo 4 future? So we want to bring a new version of the social hub. We want to bring something that is as compelling as it is today, but more and more features in there, more integrations. Maybe you want to be able to act on those tweets or on those Facebook posts or on those LinkedIn topics. So we really want to work on that. So this is something that will be in the future. People directory. Raise your hand if you're waiting for a people directory. We want to work on a nice people experience that is more than just a directory, but more of a people-centric experience to be able to find new people. The FAQ will also be back, so in terms of multiple displays on how to showcase a list of content. In context search, anywhere you are, you can open a search and do a search in there, see preview of results directly in the page you're in. This is something we're really looking forward to. Same thing with People Finder, so you can include those two in those kind of experiences. That is something that will come in the future. My Day. My Day is something that we're thinking, it's been a while we're thinking about it. Think about you have on your homepage your next meetings, your next to-dos in Planner in Microsoft To Do, your last email or a reminder, a note that you want to keep on it. So this is really around the user. We want to make it personal to the user so it goes there and he actually can get things done a lot more easily. Social management, so we're bringing also all the controls with the functionality for commenting, liking, but on more than just news. We want to comment on pages, we want to comment on events, we want to comment on any type of content that exists in SharePoint. So that is also coming. Now the bullet, that famous bullet. Classic Valo to modern Valo. I'll come back to this one. I have a full slide on this one. Lightsaber, so we want to bring the lightsaber experience to be able to build modern Office 365 themes. So that is really something that we're looking for. Content creation wizard, so to be able to guide the user to create the content from wherever he is to the right place. So we know we're going to have a ton of different different site collections. We want to make sure that people are not getting lost. So we will guide them on where they should create the content based on metadata. So maybe you're going to say, I want to create content in English. That's going to be for HR, and then automatically we'll figure out where to put that content. Microsoft Teams integration. So we want to be part of your Microsoft Teams rollout and deployment. So we will make sure that you can attach some of the some of the modern Valo stuff inside Microsoft Teams, maybe as a dashboard, maybe as a homepage in the general channel for the HR group, for instance, where they can showcase their HR homepage. So that is that will include their news, that will include their events. So it's a nice dashboard to be able to understand a bit better where we're going, maybe integration with connectors in the channels, everything that will coming. Enric, I will come back to the timeline in a couple of minutes. The first run experience, so we need to guide a user to get to know his intranet. So once is the first time he runs, or once we ship a new feature, how do you interact with that new feature? So that's something we're thinking about in terms of a long-term development. Information architecture, visual designer, so like the visual genesis. This is something that we're also thinking about in a way where you'll be able to move stuff around, change a page, and maybe also architect and come with some ideas in the first place. So that's really a nice feature. We had a good hackathon this summer where we added some kind of a very light proof of concept of that, and everyone loved it. So we will probably move on. Microsoft Stream Video. So as soon as Microsoft Stream is opening their APIs, we will be able to ship the Microsoft Stream. But keep in mind that starting day one, you will be able to use the Microsoft Stream out of the box part now in your Office 365 deployment using modern Valo. So that will be a great tool for you guys to be able to use. Finally, on-prem, yes. SharePoint 2019 though. SharePoint 2019 will be fully modern, so we're going to have communication site, we're going to have modern pages, and this is where we're heading with modern Valo. So we're targeting the SharePoint 2019 rollout. And that's going to happen. So it's actually we think it's going to be a feasible path to use. So we're going to go there. Will Stream be replacing videos in your framework? We'll probably keep both and give you an option to connect to one or the other. The reason why is people invested in videos. So as soon as video, because for now, it's been a while that videos was supposed to be gone. But there's still no migration from videos to stream. So as long as videos are there, we will probably just keep that that way. But we'll probably more invest in many new features in stream than in videos. For example, we talked about a playlist feature in Microsoft Stream. So we can actually create a playlist of different videos and have them played one after the other directly in one of our web parts. So that's the kind of feature that we're thinking about for Stream. As soon as they have their APIs, we're going to be good to go. Okay, classic Valo to modern Valo. What does it mean? First of all, modern Valo will never, that is not good, will never replace entirely classic Valo because of on-prem, because of legacy customers, because of people that are very happy with their current Valo implementation. So we don't want to force them to move from classic to modern. But if your customers are keen in going to the modern world, we will provide different paths. So based on your customers, based on your scenarios, you're going to have different paths that you're going to be able to use to leverage their Valo investment. So the first one is we're going to bring all the Valo modern web parts to classic Valo. Here I'm talking about stream, I'm talking about videos, I'm talking about the news, the brand new news web part. All of them will be brought back to classic Valo. So in terms of UI, you'll be able to have something that will look similar to what modern Valo is. But then, how do you really integrate both? Well, we're currently working in sketching what we will call the hybrid mode. The hybrid mode will enable you to start building intranet sections or departments or really like segments of your intranet using modern Valo and integrating them in the classic Valo navigation. We'll also make the changes in classic Valo so it is almost impossible to distinguish between modern and classic, especially in terms of heading. So the suite bar customization, the navigation, if we get to that point, you'll be able to move from one to the other without too much inconvenience. And then you will be able to start building new sections. You're going to be able to add those new sections directly in your classic Valo navigation. Same thing in the modern one. So you're going to have like a one-to-one match of the navigation. And then you're going to be able to live in two different intranets at the same time, but you will be able to start leveraging more the modern SharePoint experiences. So this is really how we want to make sure that you can, as a partner, allow a progressive rollout of modern Valo. Not as a big bang, but more as a rollout of new functionality. You can target some departments, HR, IT, finance, that are more agile, that are ready for that type of experience, and then you will bring them directly into navigation. So it is absolutely possible for us to do that. So we're working on that hybrid mode. If you want to go to the big bang type of solution, what we will provide as a top of mind for now, we will help you generate your modern Genesis architecture, site structure, site navigation, list of pages, that kind of stuff, based on an existing classic Valo deployment. So we'll kind of understand the context of your current classic Valo deployment and transform that to a modern Genesis structure. Then that means one thing. We will build the structure, the pages, but something we will not do will be the content. And there's a reason for that. We will not migrate customers' content from classic Valo to modern Valo, as the platform difference is way too big. And that is not a Valo specific issue. That is a Microsoft SharePoint specific issue. So today, all the big migration partners, think about AvePoint, Metallogix, ShareGate, today they do not convert any classic page to a modern page. And the reason is very simple. There is no one-to-one match. It is almost impossible to understand the context of one to make it happen in the other. So we will do our best to help you. If that option becomes available from one of our migration partners, we will let you know. We'll work with them to make sure that it works with Valo. But for now, we will say that our migration path will be to bring Valo modern web parts to classic Valo, use an hybrid mode where you can have a single navigation for both modern and classic, and that some of it is classic, some of it is modern. And finally, where we will generate your modern Genesis architecture based on an existing Valo site. Content will not be migrated, but then I think it is absolutely a good opportunity for you guys to engage with your customers and maybe re-architecting their intranet. So that is classic Valo to modern Valo. So we all know, and this is all the moment you've been working for. I know I've been able to keep you awake for 41 minutes, and now I'm showing you a classic Valo screen. But classic Valo will change, and we'll get from that environment here, so that classic environment with third-party web parts and that kind of stuff, to this one. So here we're really bringing back the Candela 2.0 experience, very, very targeted to a nice looking, very, very fresh, very dynamic UI with the mega menu that you can see on top, with our quick links that are still there. Those were not actually in my features, but they will absolutely be there. Subscriptions. And you'll be able to also see different new web parts, so the latest videos, new looks for our event web part, where it's a lot cleaner, it's a lot easy for you to change. A new look also for blogs web part that will happen here. The footer is still there. We will have the footer all there. We will also have a breadcrumb all over the place. We will really focus on bringing new UI experience here. So I can maybe show you that again. This is really what we're working on today in building this exact experience for your customers. So that's pretty cool. Then we also want to make sure that this is still for you an opportunity to have all your theming. So we will have multiple colors, multiple ways of expressing yourself, having the brand all over the place the same way. It's what you were used to in classic Valo. Keep in mind here, it's a suggestion. This is not, and there's nothing that will be totally frozen. You'll be able to move the web parts around. We will use a modern page for that construct. So it will be easy for you to be able to customize it, add the elements you feel that you need, and make sure that you have your users have a great experience and that they feel that they're at home, that they are inside their own environment. We'll also build some specific pages. So from like subject matter experts type of pages. So here you see that would be the HR page with some web parts already in there with some construct that will help you to highlight who you are as a department, as a team. Maybe an introduction web part. We're going to have all those different web parts that will be able to talk to each other with always respecting the exact same look and feel that you have. So we really want to bring that nice experience, that very seamless internet experience. Even though we're in multiple site collections, everything will look alike directly inside Valo. So what's the roadmap? The roadmap is all about, I would say, 3 different releases that we're planning this year. And then we're open to new ideas. So this is where, if you have an idea, please feel free to chime in and tell your idea, share your idea. We really want to look and hear your feedback on that. So the roadmap. We are expecting to ship that first Valo, modern Valo version for June. So end of June and before end of Q2 this year. That will include the Candela 2.0, global nav, global. Actually, everything I showed on the first slide. Everything will be in there. This is where you will get your first hands-on that modern Valo experience. Then in H2, here we have a set of features. It is still top of mind, so it's not necessarily fully clear what's going to be in there. That's going to depend a lot on the feedback we get from the customers and from you guys. But this is what we have currently in mind for that. So in H2, that's going to be a pretty interesting one. So September 1.1, December 1.2, and then H1 2019. And this is really like very, very long term for us for now. So those will be in there, but please keep the feedback coming. So that's really our roadmap for this year. So we're really, really working extremely hard in shipping Modern Valo for June this year. You will have hands-on experience as soon as we have something that works that we can share with you guys. We'll really, really want to get your feedback on the experience, on the performance, on everything. Want to make sure that this is great for your own customers. So we will involve you a lot in that in that quest of building a modern Valo. Patrick, you had a question. Are there any plans for a machine-generated Genesis config? Actually, this is something that we will that exists that we will probably present in a future Platinum training that we have. So we have now something called a Genesis bot that can take an Excel sheet and build your site structure in Genesis automatically without you to go inside your XML. So our team in Finland, Sadi is on the call right now, so she was part of it. A couple of people from Finland built an amazing bot. So we will highlight that in our next Platinum training. I just decided that right now, so it is coming in the future. So thanks for the question. And this will be the experience we'll have with Modern Valo. So I really, really hope that this is what you were looking for in terms of Modern Valo deployment. We are very, very excited. This is one of the biggest investments we'll do in Valo ever. We're really, really starting very fresh. We're going to use some of the components that were already there, but we'll really start fresh using all the modern development techniques. We're going to use all the tools like Microsoft Flow and site designs and Azure Functions, all that kind of very bleeding edge technologies to really deliver a bleeding edge experience to your customer. So we're really, really, really happy about that. Please remember, schedule is out for our partner summit. If you want to hear more about Valo Modern and probably have a very, very, very first-hand experience with Valo Modern, please be in May and in Lisbon, Portugal, or in Las Vegas on the May 24th. Submit your partner award submission as soon as possible. Thank you so much. I will stay online. I'm pretty sure that we'll have a ton of questions. So feel free to ask the question. We'll still continue to record this session. So I see we have a question from Erwin. Is there a roadmap for admin toolpack? Yes, we have a roadmap for that. We know where we're going. We'll integrate admin toolpack directly in Modern. We're still figuring out the specifics in there, but admin toolpack will really have a new, more dynamic visual UI, and will also include new metrics probably in Classic, but also in Modern. Is there any other question? Thanks, guys, for the love that you're sharing. Always remember to share the Valo love. So if you're doing any posts on social media, hashtag Valo love. That's how we see our partner community, the community to keep strong. Thank you so much for your time today. I will stop the recording right now, but please feel free to stay online if you want to ask questions or whatsoever. We have another repeat of this session at 2 p.m. this afternoon. So if you have more questions, feel free to come in. So thank you very much, everyone. Hope you liked it. See you in Lisbon and in Vegas. Cheers, everyone.